Hey, yo, what's good, fam? Peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Today you'll be cooking with Rob. Doing a little bit of a tutorial because I know a lot of people have been asking, how I get down in the kitchen. I've been posting a lot of different pictures and stuff like that lately, but I never actually did a video on how I do the process, if you will, and everything. So today I'm gonna hang out with y'all, show y'all a little bit of what I do and how I get down. I'm actually doing two different things today, two different dishes that I'm going to, have like little box dinners or TV dinners, to store for next week. I'm gonna be doing a stewed chicken with some pigeon peas and rice and some cabbage, and then I'm also doing a seafood dish. It's gonna be a shrimp scampi with fettuccine noodles, also joined with some crab. So I'm gonna walk you guys through this. So hang out with me and let's get it. All right, y'all. We'll walk y'all through some of the ingredients. I already got stuff cleaned and prepped. I got the chicken. I got about a cup of fresh crab meat. Got the shrimp. I still got to do the cabbage, cut that up and everything. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. That's some deliciousness right there. It's a seafood seasoning by Zatarain's. You guys understand what I got going on with that. Something I'm going to add with the cabbage, for the rice, as well as when I do the stewed chicken, I use a little bit of broth. Parboiled rice, Saison Goya, olive oil for good measure. I got butter going, and then some other different seasonings, along with some shortening. What I'm doing first, actually now, is heating up some butter, and then I got my water going for the fettuccine. So I'll walk you guys through this right quick. Stand by. All right, family, I'm back. Yeah, some of this is going to be a little bit of a pause and go in between because I only got one hand and then I'm trying to film everything. Okay, over here I already got the fettuccine up in there. What I did do is add a little bit of olive oil, basically to keep the noodles from not sticking and everything like that. Stir these around right quick and let that work and do its thing. Set this off to the side. Alright, then I'm going to come back over here to the shrimp and the crab. So basically break this down. I already had the butter melting, as you guys saw, and everything. I turned it down because the butter was popping all over the place and everything. So we put this back up. Now the seasoning, it all depends on what you want to do. Now what I usually do is, let me start off with this Zatarain's. Yeah, this is actually a Zatarain's. It comes in a plastic container, and you don't need that much of this. I usually take about a pinch. That's all you need right there. Oh, my bad. That's all you need right there. Just about a pinch. Stir that around in there and everything. And stuff like that. Then I come over here. You can add garlic. You can add adobe. You can add onion powder. And then I also do a little bit of paprika. So let me get that going and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back with you guys. Just had to open everything up. Starting off with a little bit of onion powder. And again, depending on how much flavor, is up to you. Just add a little bit of everything. A little bit of garlic. And I add my adobe. And I add a little bit of paprika for a little bit of that color as well as the flavor. Stir that all around. Let it do its thing. I don't have the temperature up that high. Just let it kind of somewhat of a medium, if you will, and just let that ride out and everything. Oh, let me turn it up just a little touch. All right. Come back to the pasta. Stir that around. Make sure that's doing pretty good. With the pasta, maybe about a good, and especially if you have it up on high, about a good 15 to 20 minutes. That's normally what I do and everything. But I also check to make sure, that it's soft and everything. So I'll let it ride out, do its thing for a little bit. And I usually, take one of the noodles, taste it, see if it's done, and then go from there. All right. Now, while all of that is doing this thing, again, like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm going to be doing this stewed chicken. Now, a couple of things that you can do. Normally, I would season my chicken before I put it in the pot. Being that I only have this one pot, I got to wait. So, all of this stuff right here will be in the next segment and everything. So, we'll be back momentarily. I'm going to let this ride out for you, and then we'll go from there. All right, peeps, I'm back again. Let some time elapse and everything. This has been cooking down, and you can see how the crab meat is, breaking up, man. It's a beautiful thing. What you want to do, from time to time, it's up to you. I usually take a little bit, like a spoonful, and taste the actual roux that it's cooking in. See if it's, flavorful enough and everything. Once I'm done, throw the spoon in there. Come back to that. All right, the noodles should be done right about now. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pull this up, drain them, let this drain. All right. All right, I go ahead and turn this down. Now, in most cases, you would take your noodles out, rinse them off and everything. But I usually, in this case, being that I'm using this butter sauce, I don't worry about rinsing them off and everything. I just kind of let it all soak in with the butter sauce and stuff like that. So I'll take these out and transfer them over to this bowl right quick. Hold on for a second. Alright, I'm back. As you guys can see, man, I had transferred the noodles over to this bowl. So what I'm going to do next is take my crab and shrimp and pour it over the noodles. Get all that up in there. All that steam and the whole 9 yards, boy. Some good stuff right there, boy. Let me set this back. All right. Mix that all around. Now, you can do one of two things. Check to see if there's enough of a roux or sauce, if you will. So you might have to add possibly another stick of butter, or you may want to even do a little bit of Alfredo sauce if that's what you choose to do. I like to keep it in a butter sauce myself. So again, from this point, you can add Alfredo, or you can even do another stick of butter to keep it kind of moist and everything. At this point, I add a couple other things. I am going to add another stick of butter. The flavor's already there. I don't need to add any other like salt or anything like that. But I add a little bit of basil. That's a little bit of a garnishment. And I also add a little bit of parsley. Give it an extra little nice kick and flavor. And voila, there we have it. It's the shrimp fettuccine. And like I said, you could do one of two things. Add a little bit of Alfredo here, or you can actually add another stick of butter and just keep it in like a butter type sauce, keep it moist and everything like that. And so we are one chapter down. Let's get on with the other stuff. All right, peeps, we're back. Now I'm getting ready to do the rice with the pigeon peas, and also I'm gonna do the chicken as well too. Got the heat on. What I'm about to do first is add a little bit of olive oil. Sorry about that. Kind of coat the pan with that. Let it do its thing. Let that heat up a little bit. And I gotta heat this up as well too. Now what I'm gonna do over here, let's get a little bit of vegetable shortening. Get a nice heaping amount. Let's say just about a cupful. Hold on for a second. Alright, back with that. Yeah, just about a cupful, let that do its thing. Alright, now coming back over with the rice. I didn't add the rice. I think I'm gonna probably add a little bit just more rice. And again, depending on what you're making and how much you're making, or who you're making it for, it all depends. So I'm gonna just add just a little bit more rice. Now, with this step, I'm doing something a little bit different. Normally, I would have we call cream of coconut. I would use that as the base instead of olive oil. And the cream of coconut already has like a sweet, taste to it. So, being that I don't have that, what I am going to do, turn this grease down. Get that over there doing its thing. In this particular case, I'm just going to add about 3 tablespoons, actually 2 tablespoons of sugar. And let that stir around. What you want to do is just kind of brown the rice a little bit. That's almost done melting. Turn that down. We'll get to the chicken in a second. Alright, now what I'm going to also add, I do a little bit of onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. And then I add the Sazon. Man, this is one of the hardest things, trying to do all this stuff with one hand. But it's all good. Y'all are rocking with me, so y'all see what the process is. Yep. Mix that around. You don't want the heat up too high because it'll burn the actual rice. And you kind of want to cook it a little bit and let it caramelize, as they say. Alright, while that's doing this thing, come back over here. I'm going to go ahead and grab this chicken and put it in the pot. Alright. Get everything in there even. Alright. Let that do its thing. Come back to the rice. Stir that around. Once it gets to a nice little brown, as far as the the rice itself and everything. Now, what I've done before in the past is use water, but I stopped using the water and actually use some chicken broth. Chicken broth gives it a little bit more of a flavor. Adds flavor, I should say. Okay. So I got my chicken broth. Alright, cool. We're going to do about almost 2.5 cups of the broth and just let that cook down for a little while and everything. What you want to do is cover the rice up and just let it do its thing. Okay, let me get a lid. Get the right lid. Cool. Alright. Turn that up to about 3/4 and just let it ride out. Let it do this thing. Alright. Now let's get to the chicken. Move some of this other stuff out of the way. I'm going to turn the heat back up on the chicken. So now what we do from here, we add our seasoning. We're going to do some adobe. And again, just depending on how much you want to do. Roughly, this is about 2.5 tablespoons that I normally do. And usually with a bag of chicken, like either a pack of chicken, which is roughly about 20 to 25 little drumettes, go from there. About a tablespoon of garlic. Tablespoon onion powder, and again, it's all to your liking, how much you want to add, subtract, or whatever the case may be. A little bit of pepper, roughly about a teaspoon, I would say, just about. Then I add 2 bay leaves. Bay leaf just brings that, that flavor out once again. Alright. The other thing I add, again, is just a little bit of broth. maybe about half a cup to a cup. It just all depends. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm just using the rest of the broth so it kind of covers the chicken up, and then I let it ride out and do its thing. What you also want to add here too is some sugar. Now again, the sugar is going to be to whatever amount that you want it to, be at and everything. So I'm gonna add about 2 cups of sugar for now, and then I'll let this cook, and then we'll be back once it starts to cook down. All right, rice is cooking. Got the chicken going, so we'll let that just do its thing, cook down and stuff like that, and I'll definitely be back with you guys to let you guys know how that comes out. It just got to do its thing, so we'll let the time lapse. What I'm going to do now next is start prepping my cabbage. I need to go ahead and wash that up, cut it up, and then I'm going to add this super blend to it too. It just kind of jazzes up the cabbage a little bit. And normally I would also add like onions and peppers and stuff like that. I'm undecided on what meat I'm gonna use. I may use some turkey, or I might use some bacon. I'm not too sure, but I will let you guys know shortly. All right, we'll be back. All right, peeps, I'm back on the rice now. When it gets about almost halfway cooked, meaning the rice, go ahead and add your pigeon peas. Pigeon peas, the Goya joints. I got a big can, so I don't need to use all of them, so I'm gonna save the other ones. Mix that in. And then let this cook down. And then this will be straight. Chicken is still doing this thing over there. Oh, my bad. Just let that ride out. All right, we'll be back. All right, peeps, I'm back again. Time is still elapsing. What I'm doing now, I decided to go with some bacon because I only had a little bit of bacon left. So I'm cooking up the bacon now as we speak, letting this shit cook. And you know how that goes. Oh, this hotness and everything. So let me turn this joint down so the grease ain't popping up all over me and everything. Still got my rice going. Got this chicken. Hold on before I burn my hands off. Want to be safe than sorry. Oh yeah. Can't see it that well, but all right, there we go. Yep, chicken is doing this thing. Stir that around. Yeah, the rice is coming along very well, very well. Cool. All right. All right, let me bring you guys over to here. What I did was cleaned up my cabbage. All right, I'm back again. I had to start a new video because this was too long. But yeah, started the cabbage. So I had cleaned it up and everything, and just cut it now. So I'm about to go ahead and throw that up in the pan once it's done. So another quick pause for the cause. All right, peeps. What I did right now is added the that other vegetable blend I was telling you guys about. I added in with the bacon, with the fat as well too and everything. So what I'm getting ready to do now, go ahead and add the cabbage as well too. And you see, the thing about cabbage is this cooks down completely. So it may seem like a lot in the beginning, but it's really not. Mix this in right quick. And I gotta add the rest. Some of this stuff around. In this case, I'm gonna add a little bit of water. I like to add water with this versus the broth sometimes, especially being that it has a little bit of the bacon grease up in there. Kind of cut a little bit of the salt intake, if you will. About 2 cups of water. So what I'm gonna let this do, I'm gonna let this cook down a little bit before I season it up, and we'll be back again. All right, peeps, I'm back. It cooked down a little bit, so now I'm just adding a little bit of seasonings, a little bit of paprika,